All right, everyone, so wonderful for you to be here. This is Dr. Melody Stevens. I am the founder of Fit+Faith, and I am thrilled to be bringing you this training today about your amazing brain. God made us an amazing brain, and we already know this, but I was able to learn even more about it at this 2-day conference that I just got back from over the weekend. So I was putting together my notes and really trying to put all the best things together to give you my best tips, and then we'll go from there. So ask questions along the way if you've got them. Otherwise, let's dive in. Make sure that you have a pen and paper because you're going to want to be taking notes. I will try not to talk too fast, but if I get really excited, if you got to tell me to slow down, type it in the chat. I'm going to be having the chat going the whole time, but everyone is muted except for me. That way we don't get any background noise, but I will open it up for Q&A if we have time later, and then I'll unmute you. So let's go ahead. We're going to share the screen so you can see my slides. And let me make sure that I get the chat rolling here. All right, I've got my chat pulled up on the side, and so if you have questions, that's where I will be looking at what's going on and trying to address them as we can. All right, before I get started, people that can access their chat, can you see my slides on the screen before we get started? Go ahead and let me know in the chat, yes, I can see your screen, or no, I cannot, I need to know. Okay, thank you. Yes, I got a yes. Any other yeses out there? Okay. Oh, perfect. All right. If you can't, you have some technical difficulties, let me know, but everybody should be on board. So here we go. Your amazing brain, unlocking God's perfect design. We're going to learn all about it and get ready to take some notes. So here is just a quick run through of the people that I saw and that were speakers at the event. It was in LA, and it was a 2-day event, long days, but 35 different speakers, and they all had about a 20-minute or so time frame to talk. So it was just like speaker after speaker, and the theme was called Superhero Brain. And so all the speakers, the theme of the whole conference was superheroes. And so it was really cute and fun, and they played that theme up. It was so adorable. And so every speaker was talking about their superhero power. So whatever that happened to be in all the different areas, all these different categories. So that's kind of how everything came together. So some of the main categories then were regarding nutrition and exercise and how that affects your brain and what are the best conditions that your brain really thrives on. The science, some really awesome stuff going on in the technology space and what they're learning in the scientific field about our brains. Thoughts and your attitudes, how that plays into literally your brain chemistry and how, I mean, amazing things can happen when you open your mind if you're willing to pay attention to how your thoughts and attitudes are affecting everything. The unconscious versus the conscious mind, of course, the psychological aspects of it, that's always super interesting. And then behavioral health issues and emotional health and how everything ties together. So it was like a huge gamut, very well-rounded. It wasn't like a science conference. It was very well-rounded in all these different areas. And then, of course, on the screen, you can see a lot of the different speakers that were there. Jack Canfield, Montel Williams being some of the bigger names, drawing people in. And Jack Canfield, if you don't know who that is, he's one of the co-founders of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, and he just had an incredible story to tell about the inspiration that he received from God on how he came up with the title and everything. It was so amazing. Quincy Jones made a guest appearance at the end of the first night, and that was just incredible too. He's been so influential, and he's in his 80s and knows 26 languages and still travels the world. Age does not have to limit what you can do, and that was one of the big themes of the whole thing. So it was just incredible. So here we go. These are some notes you can get ready to start taking. The first thing is, thoughts are things, okay? So if you don't already know that, or you don't already realize that, you need to know it now and you need to take it seriously. Thoughts are things. So literally being able to project your reality and the things to come in your life are going to happen or are not going to happen because you've already decided it in your mind. It's really amazing. So you need to know that your thoughts are things. Be very careful and aware and conscious of how you're speaking to others, and specifically how you're speaking to your own self-talk. And then all behavior is belief driven. So all of your outward actions, they're somewhere seated, either in your conscious or your unconscious mind, in your beliefs about life, about reality, about every possible situation, about what you're capable of. All these different things, all of our behavior is tied to our beliefs around it. And so those were some of the other really big themes as well. And let me hold on really quick. I'm going to see if I can, okay, no, everybody's good to go here. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So which statement is correct? I want you to go ahead, and people that can vote in the chat, I want you to vote. Which statement is correct? A, I'm struggling through life and everything and everyone is against me. I'll never get ahead. Or B, I see opportunities all around me to help me succeed in all circumstances. I can rise above. Which of those statements is correct, A or B? Go ahead and type it in the chat. That way I know you're still around, you're still there. All right. Okay, yes, I love this. Thank you, thank you. I'm getting lots and lots of Bs. All right, so B statement is correct. And I love that because that's the more positive outlook on life, right? But the question is the A statement also correct? The answer is they are both correct. They are both 100% true. And it only depends on, the only difference is what is that person literally believing in their own mind? What are they telling themselves and what are they believing? Both statements are true. So yes, if you believe that you're struggling through life and everything and everyone is against you and you're never going to get ahead, that's literally your worldview, then that is absolutely what will happen. You won't get ahead and you will always struggle. However, if you see opportunities all around you and you see ways that people can help you succeed and you believe in your heart that you can rise above, that is also absolutely true. So thoughts are things, and all belief, everything that happens starts from your own belief, which was the slide right before. So really eye-opening, that kind of trick question, both are true. Have you heard that statement that says, if you believe you can or you can't, you're right? Have you heard that? I think that's a Henry Ford quote. If you believe you can or you can't, you're right. It is absolutely true. Everything stems from how you are thinking and how you are believing in the outlook in life. Really, really incredible stuff. Next. Okay, so here we go. Which are you? Are you a thermometer or are you a thermostat? Let me tell you the difference. What does a thermometer do? A thermometer gauges the temperature of its surroundings. So it's really chilly outside. The thermometer says it's in the 60s. It's scorching hot and the sun is out and it's blazing. It's in the hundreds or the 90s or whatever. The thermometer literally just says, this is the temperature of what's currently going on. The thermostat is the thing that you can literally decide what you want the temperature to be. Do you want the temperature to be hot or cold? You set the thermometer, you set the thermostat, and then everything else is going to either rise or drop based on your number. So let me see if I have this in the next slide for you. You set the temperature and the world reacts to you. So you don't want to go around being reactive in life. This was kind of one of the things that they were saying is you have the power to decide your actions and your choices and how you respond to things, but you don't want to be reactive all the time. You don't want to be always like something happened to you and then, oh my gosh, how are you now going to respond or react from that. No, you decide ahead of time how you're going to respond to situations, what your demeanor is, what your mannerisms are. You are the one that's going to already decide how you will respond to the things around you. So one of the big messages was you set the thermostat for your life. So what do you want out of life? What do you want out of our one time here on earth? What experiences do you want to have? What quality of life do you want to live? You decide all of that. And then when you set something up here, because you have higher expectations, like that slide before, you believe you can rise above, everything around you is going to begin to rise and come up to you. So you really want to be the one who's in control of the situation and not the one that's constantly ebbing and flowing and always going up and down and this and that. You want to be stable, and you get to decide to do that. So another really awesome speaker, his name was Bo Eason, and he was a former pro football player, and he played for a time with Jerry Rice. And so he had some really awesome experiences playing with the greatest NFL football player of all time, Jerry Rice. And what his message was we all have this primal nature in us, this thing that makes us as humans completely different than any other created creature on earth. We have qualities about us, and we have, our mind is so amazing. We have the power of thought and of contemplation and of free will. We have all these things that is designed in us. It's the way we were created, and it's how we're different than any other animal. And so he was talking about, don't be afraid of your primal nature. Don't be afraid to be the best that you can be, because that's how you were created to be. Allow your mind to be the thing that allows you to really rise above and to escape your circumstances, because you have chosen to do so in your mind. And so really just kind of talking about mediocrity that he sees everywhere, that people are not tapping into the power of their mind, their freedom of thought, their freedom of choice and free will. And the ones who do are the ones that really stand out. And sometimes society says, oh, don't be different. Don't stand out. Make sure you blend in. All these things that we see, conform, all these things that we see in society, we don't, we're not allowing ourselves to fully be the fullest expression of who we are and who we were created to be. So he had a really awesome message that said, don't be afraid of the primal nature within you. Let yourself be the best that you can, like literally not settling for anything less than excellence, because you can. Just because you can. And that is our right as human beings, and why we were created differently, to be able to express that and to do that. So I thought that was, it was fabulous. It was so incredible. Let me take a second and just in the chat real quick, like, let me know what your thoughts are on some of these things. I'm just rambling away, but what are your thoughts on some of the things that I have expressed so far? What do you think about the thermometer versus the thermostat, or being able to not be afraid of who you really are inside and let your mind fully expand into the fullness of what God created us to be? I want to kind of hear some thoughts really quick. Okay, what do we have here? Shasta says, hitting home for me with being who I really am and allowing the world to respond however it may. Yes, I love that. I love that. Not being afraid of how the world will react when you just truly begin to be who you are. And in the end, if you don't get the positive response that you're wanting, that's not your problem. Like, that's their problem. Your job is to literally just be who you are, who God created you to be, the uniqueness and specialness of you. And that's it. You know, it's like, why do we let society or outside influences tell us who we should be and how amazing we should really be? You know, I mean, gosh, like it's amazing. That's what I love so much about the diversity of every person anyway. The diversity of how God made us all was because we were meant to all be different, you know? And isn't that really awesome? Yet we hide it or we stifle it down. No, no, no. Heather says, back to the Henry Ford statement hit home. Yes, whether you can or you can't, you are right. That is the most phenomenal statement. That needs to be posted up on a wall somewhere. That is 100% true. And I love that though, because literally all it says to you is, what have you decided? And then it's done. You make it happen. You move forward. I mean, I agree. I'm so happy, Heather, that it's such a powerful statement, and it's so true. And it makes me very sad, honestly, when I begin to realize these things, and when I begin to up-level my own expectations of myself and of the people around me and of life in general. You begin to see these things, negative thoughts, or these downplayed lives, or people that honestly think that certain things just aren't achievable for them, or that life is always out to get them. And it just kills me, because it's like, that's not true at all. That's you. Like, you're not choosing to see that it could be different. And that's the control that we have in our own minds. Anyway, my soapbox there. And then let's see, I really like the thermostat thought. I never thought of it that way. Me either. That's why I shared that one, because that to me was such an interesting analogy. Are you reactive to the temperature of life around you? Or are you deciding, no, I'm turning it up. I'm going to live up here. I won't settle for less, and things around you will begin to change, and they'll begin to rise to that level around you, just because literally of the energy that you're putting out in the world and your expectations of the world around you. So don't be afraid to expect big. God is big, right? That's just us limiting what God can do because of our lack of faith, or not trusting that he really is as big as he said he is, and then trying to be perfect or to fit in or to be accepted isn't really working for me. All right. I like that, Shasta. I'm glad it's not working for you, because it's not meant to. Like, you're just meant to be you. And if the people around you aren't on that vibe and they're not accepting you for who you are, you have the choice then to go into a different environment, to make new friends, to begin to surround yourself with different people, because you're just being true to yourself. And that is not always easy. But if you begin to recognize it, you can begin making those shifts and literally just letting it start to just fall off your shoulders, that you really don't care. You just don't care what they think or whatever, because you're living to be who you are. And that is what God wants to see, because that's who he created you to be. So I love, love, love that. Okay, let's go on to the next one here. All right, nutrition. Here's the big ones. I think doing a group for people that's called Fit+Faith, and my whole mission is to inspire people to be treating their bodies better and having better health, and teaching them how to begin implementing better health and losing weight, or just feeling better about themselves, whatever that happens to be, because then we can do what we were meant to do in the world even better, because our bodies are now better. Like, it's very, very simple. And God says, I have given you the temple of the Holy Spirit that lives inside of you. That's us. So do our bodies seem like a temple? Like, are we treating them that way? If not, let's make some changes, not because God loves us any less or will change his love for us, but because it's us showing our reverence to God in respect of the individual temples that he's given us. So anyways, that's my whole big mission and goal. So of course, people want to know, what is the nutrition and the exercise around your brain? What does your brain optimally need? What is the most valuable thing that your entire body has, second to your heart? What is the most valuable thing need to function at its best? So there are some really interesting stuff going on with nutrition. So which has more energy is the question. A gram of carbs or a gram of fat? When we think of energy in related to food, that literally means, what does science say is the calories? Higher calories mean more energy. That's literally the way that it goes. So we're looking at it in a what is going to give, what has more energy packed into it, which typically means higher calories. But we're not caring about calories right now. Just a simple question. Does carbs have more energy, or does fat have more energy? Fat has more energy. So what then do we want to be feeding our bodies? Do we want to feed them something that has the most amount of energy? Or do we want to feed them something that does not have very much energy? So literally what was so interesting to me was the emphasis of this entire conference over the nutrition that we are not having enough healthy fats in our diet. The brain is made up of fat. It's basically made up of fat and water. And so if the brain's made up of fat and we want it to be functioning the best that it can, think of it literally, it's like Jello or egg whites, basically. Like that's kind of the consistency of the brain. Hence why we have such a very, very, very dense, thick skull, because it's so delicate and it's slippery. It's made up of fat. So we want to eat the healthy fats that then nutritionally are going to feed the brain even better. And that is going to begin to change so many things internally in the chemical makeup and in the hormonal balances inside the brain because we're giving it more fat. So the healthy fats, what does that look like? Think about your diet. Are you having nuts and seeds? Are you cooking with healthy oils? Specifically, coconut oil, they said, was the best one. Are you cooking with coconut oil, grapeseed oil? Avocado oil is okay, but it's a little bit further down the road. But are you eating avocados? Are you eating olives? All these things, very close to a Mediterranean diet a little bit, right? They love all that type of stuff. So you want to be looking at the healthy fats, and don't be concerned about the calories. That needs to go out the window, because if you're eating the right quality of fats, the good ones, they do amazing things for your body. So don't be afraid of that. Start upping the high quality of the things that you're doing. Start cooking in coconut oil or ghee, which is clarified butter, instead of margarine or things that have hydrogenated fats in them. That literally begins to mess everything up. We want to do it the way nature intended it to be, because it's the way that our bodies work the best. So we want to go with the natural oils. We don't want to have hydrogenated butters or anything like that. We want to cook with high quality oils and eat lots of nuts and seeds and yummy, yummy things like olives and avocados. And so that was one thing. Definitely lots and lots of fish too. They talked about omega-3s. And so let's go on to the next one. So this is going to be interesting for you. Look on the left, it says by volume. This is the diet that they're recommending is the best for brain health. And if our brain is the healthiest it can be, literally your body will follow. So when we look at the volume of the food that we're eating, 70% of the volume of the bulk is coming from vegetables, organic vegetables. And we'll talk about that in a second, why that is so important. It's coming from vegetables. So if you do not like vegetables, you better get on board. You really need to start experimenting and branching out, because there's a million of them. You maybe just haven't tried them in a while, or you are not branching out enough to find what's working for you, but you must have vegetables, lots and lots of green vegetables. 70% of your diet to come from vegetables. The other 30% is made up of protein and fat. What kind of fats? The healthy fats, okay? So don't be afraid of fat. We want it to be the healthy fats, fats that come from fish, that come from salmon, that come from all the other things I just mentioned on the last slide. So you want 30% to come from protein and fat. You want 70% to come from healthy green vegetables, other colors too. The more bright and vibrant and colorful your diet, the better different nutrients you're feeding yourself. But then if we look at the one on the right, it says, look at the calories. 70% of our calories are coming from the fat. Holy moly, right? That kind of is a little bit crazy. But 70% of the calories come from fat, but it's just because they have the higher energy. So it's okay. And then 30% of the calories are coming from vegetables. You know, you can eat like, cups and cups and cups of broccoli and you're like, that was 30 calories. But you're full because you had a bulk of food. So it's an interesting little dichotomy there, but literally stop counting calories, because that's going to screw you up, and just make sure that your ratios are right and that you're having the right kinds of stuff. Then you basically can't go wrong. Where is there for carbs and sugars in here? Do you see them at all? And we'll talk about that in a second. No. Very, 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 very little is sugar from fruit only. Definitely not other sugars. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But So a little bit from fruits, because that will give you natural sugars, and that's fine. But what a lot of people do, and what I know that I used to do as well, was when I would look, I'm like, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing all these good things, I'm switching my diet, I'm not having processed or fried foods or fast food, I'm not having sodas, but I was having fruit all day long. So when I look at what I was actually having, we really need to start thinking, okay, yes, fruit is healthy, and yes, that's better than X, Y, and Z, better than a Twinkie, better than a ding dong, better than a soda, whatever. But for our bodies to function the best, we need to swap that and have fruit be very, very small, and have vegetables, which have their own sweetness. Some of them do. They have carbs as well. Potatoes, yams, pumpkin, butternut squash, that's carbs. So don't freak out about the not having a lot of carbs. You're going to get them if you're having a good variety of vegetables anyway. So this was very, very interesting, and it's a lot of food for thought, right? Lots of things to think about when you start looking at what is your diet currently made up of, and how can you begin making some changes that will literally revolutionize how you feel, how your brain's functioning, your hormone levels get balanced, your body shrinks down, and everything works better. So very interesting. Next, okay, let's talk about organic for a second. I must say that, and I am not alone in this, I'm sure, I don't typically like to buy organic as a rule of thumb. I'm a little bit better than I was, but I'm not 100% organic. And, it's like, because everybody knows the price difference, it's, blah, blah, blah. And after this weekend, I am completely on the other side. I do not want to do anything if it is not organic. This is how powerful this message came across. And it's not because we're saying, the best way to eat is by spending a lot of extra money. It's because the reasons why it needs to be organic. Your body responds to the nutrition that it receives. Has it been shown that organic produce has higher nutrients, has better makeup in it than non-organic? Yes, you cannot dispute that. So if our body, in our blood, in our stomach, in our gut, when it's digesting all of the food and all of those things are getting absorbed into the places that it needs to go and into our bloodstream, as it's breaking it down, our body responds to the nutrition, the nutrients that are there. So our body will signal to our brain that we are full if it gets that nutritional value sooner. Because the quality of the vegetables has higher nutrient density, it's going to tell our body we're full because it's now satisfied in the nutritional components. Why do you think that low nutritional value food, fast food, fried food, anything that's basically food-like product or crap, we can eat it forever? We can eat tons and tons and tons and tons. Because the nutritional value is so low, the body doesn't know when it's full. So if you start eating things that have high nutrient density in them, your body will be full faster, aka you don't eat as much. And you don't even have to, because your body says it's full. Wouldn't that be so awesome if internally you could tell your body to be full already? It'll happen if you begin switching the food that you're eating into higher nutrient density, and that is what comes from organic. So that was so mind-blowing to me that I'm like, oh, heck yes, I am so on board with that. I am not even questioning a few extra dollars at the store anymore, because I know that I'm doing what's better for my body. So, and another really important point that they made was food is literally the translation of brain information. So what is the quality then of the information that you're feeding yourself, that you're feeding your brain? What is the quality? Is it mediocre quality? Are we wondering why we're kind of dragging through the day and why we have low energy and why we always seem to be tired? Maybe we're actually just not feeding ourselves high enough quality of food. And what if we're eating a lot of sodas and fast food that have almost no quality to them? They're at the bottom of the bucket. Well, then no wonder that we're not feeling well and we're not performing and living optimally. So think of that from now on. This was a huge shift for me, was that the food is literally your brain information. What type of information do you want to be giving your brain and your own body? Like huge. Like if I, one of those pictures where their head like explodes on the commercials, like that's me. So listen to this. If Jesus came to dinner, what would you feed him? And I am not asking this for myself. Literally, this was the question that one of the speakers gave at the conference. And this was not a religious conference at all. He himself was a Christian, yes. He is part of the co-creators of the Daniel Plan that a lot of you might have heard of, Dr. Mark Hyman. But this was his question to the audience. And everybody was like, whoa, you know, even people that are not Christians or anything. But to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is huge. If anybody is like blown away by any of the stuff that I'm saying, like please type it in the chat so I can know what's going on. If Jesus came to dinner, what would you feed him? Absolutely incredible of a question. And so it really kind of begs to differ that if we are also, as Christians, the temples of the Holy Spirit and God lives within us, what are we feeding ourselves? And what quality of food would you want to be feeding if you had someone of that caliber at your table? So, wow, wow, wow. All right. Have you heard of type 3 diabetes? Type it into the chat. Have you heard of type 3 diabetes? And if so, what have you heard? I want to wait for a second, and I'm going to go grab a water really quick. Squash and zucchini, but not kale. That's what you would be feeding Jesus. You're so funny. I know that you're not the biggest fan of kale at the moment, Heather. That's so funny. Add spinach in there too. I know you really like spinach. I'm going to grab some water really quick. Okay. The question was, have you heard of type 3 diabetes? Has anybody heard of this? Like this new thing that they have now called type 3 diabetes? Has anyone heard of that? Because I had not. Alicia says no. No. Heather says no. I don't think there's an ICD-10 code for that. Ha, you're really funny. No, there's not. All right. Get ready to have your freaking socks blown off, because if they haven't already, because I had not heard of this, but this is literally the terminology that's going around now. Let me tell you. Alzheimer's. They're literally calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. Why are they naming it something so strongly impactful? What do you think about when you think of diabetes? For a lot of people, they're educated enough now to realize that it could have been preventable, or in some cases, people still can prevent it. They're learning that a lot of times it begins to come on because they have upset their body so much with sugar that they have changed the insulin ability in their blood to regulate itself. So the body literally begins to break down in awful, terrible ways. I deal with it every day with my patients, into diabetes. It's not a death sentence per se, but it can be pretty terrible. And a lot of it for type 2 specifically, it's brought on by poor diet, specifically sugar intake, sugar overload. Now the body doesn't know what to do and can't process it. This is what they're now saying for Alzheimer's. And they're saying it's getting rapid, growing. 50% of people over the age of 85 are projected to get it. Do you have any parents that are approaching 85? What do you think of your quality of life when you approach 85? Do you want to be one of the 50%, leave it to chance, 50-50, whether you're going to get Alzheimer's, this absolutely terrible, degrading disease? I mean, it's crazy. And as a physical therapist, I work with people that have this all day long, and it literally breaks my heart. And it is absolutely awful for the families to have to go through to watch this happen to their loved one. And this is what they're finding is preventable, and it's related to high sugar intakes. What's the main cause? Sugar. So I don't know if that does anything for you. I don't know if that freaks you out at all, or opens your eyes, or makes you think twice next time you go to grab for that soda, or to add the sugar into your coffee, or to have a donut, or to have candy at the movies. Like, people are not realizing that it's literally those choices made over a lifetime that is now beginning to do that. And we're going to get into some brain scans and brain science in just a second. Sugar is absolutely toxic to your brain, not to mention your entire body. So the thing about people not having sugar because they just want to be healthier, it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. And people need to wake up and need to realize this. So take this seriously, please, and literally begin to start cutting sugar out of your life. You will survive. It'll be fine. Your taste buds will eventually adapt. You don't need it. Your body will slim down. Your blood levels will be better. You will prevent preventable diseases that could occur in the future. It is that intense. So let's go into some brain science. These are some images called SPECT scans, and this is a healthy brain. It looks like a brain, doesn't it? It looks like the shape of a brain. It's smooth. It's got, some curves in it, but those are the natural curves. They're where they're supposed to be. This is what a brain should look like, a nice, good, healthy brain. I feel like the next slide is almost like, do you remember those old commercials? This is your brain on drugs. And they like crack an egg and the egg is like going crazy. This is your brain from Alzheimer's. So no wonder they begin to literally lose all of their function, their memory, their ability to function in society, their ability to care for themselves. And they're not there mentally because half of their brain has been eaten away and is literally not functioning. So when we say that they're now calling Alzheimer's diabetes type 3 related to sugar intake, I really, wow is right. Like, wow, Alicia is like, I can't even, this has changed so many things for me in the steps I had already taken to start cutting sugar out of my diet. It literally makes it not even a temptation anymore. Every time you go to deny having some sugar, you are telling yourself that you are preventing future Alzheimer's for yourself. I mean, it's ridiculous. And what is crazy is the signs of Alzheimer's. If they were to do these scans on your brain, the signs of Alzheimer's are happening decades before you ever get a symptom. So if you don't get symptoms of Alzheimer's till you're in your 60s or 70s, the changes have already begun to occur in your brain 20 years, 30 years prior. So how old are you now? How many years do you have coming before you're in your golden years to the onset of where Alzheimer's could begin to show up? So really begin to realize that these sorts of things need an entire lifestyle change and a lifestyle shift. So that was amazing. I really hope that impacts you tonight if you get nothing else from this. Exercise. What they found for exercise was it doesn't need to be intense. Literally, they recommend a daily HIIT exercise. That stands for high intensity interval training. These are exercises that are from 10 to 20 minutes long, and they're short spurts of intense exercise and rest. So I have now, in one of the groups that I'm leading for the Summer Slim Down, have begun posting daily HIIT exercises. Literally, you go on Pinterest, search up a HIIT exercise, you're gonna find a million of them, and then 15 minutes at home, done. That's what they're finding. All kinds of sugar are bad. Examples of coconut, Heather asks, going back to the other slide about sugar. In excess, yes. So the best kinds would be, what did they say this weekend? Stevia was okay. Definitely getting your sugar from regular fruit. And then something that is not a refined sugar would be a better thing, definitely. So coconut sugar has a low glycemic index. That is good. There's a lot of different sweeteners out there. Brown rice sugar, agave, stevia, there's maple syrup, there's honey, there's all these different things, but in the end, they're all sugar. So you really do need to be very aware of that and really limiting it as much as possible. And then if you need to have sugar in something, then making a better choice besides white refined sugar, or definitely not aspartame, definitely not any artificial sugars. So coconut sugar and and stevia. Those would be okay ones, but you really literally want as little as possible. Alicia says, thanks for sharing the long-term impact on sugar. It really hits home. That is what I struggle with the most. Absolutely. And Heather says, moderation. I'll be seeing that brain in my head when I go. Yes, 100%. And so will I. And that's why it was so impactful. Alicia, that's what you struggle with the most. It's true. And it's only because sugar is literally addictive like cocaine in the brain. So the studies that they've done on rats and this and that, sugar is literally more addictive to them than cocaine is. So we have been ingesting sugar for our whole lives, right? So our body is literally addicted to it. So when you start to take it away, no wonder it's difficult. No wonder the body doesn't want to. No wonder you get cravings and withdrawal symptoms and mood swings. It is all withdrawal symptoms because it literally is a drug killing you and killing your brain. So realize that, get away from it, allow your body to go through the detox and the withdrawal, and then it's done and you don't reintroduce it. You can do it. Okay. Okay, so the brain belly link. This is super interesting. These are two things that you need to know for yourself. They literally have found that there is a direct correlation between the size of your belly and the size of your brain. Okay? The bigger the belly, literally the smaller the brain on the scans, because it's not healthy, because your hormones are out of balance. Then the smaller the belly, the bigger the brain. How awesome is that? So if you need any more motivation to get to a healthy weight, if you're not there yet, this is it. And so you need to know your BMI and you need to know your waist to hip ratio. Look those things up online. If you don't know what they are and you don't know where you fall, there's plenty of calculators out there. You must know these things because there is an absolute direct correlation between having a slim and trim waistline and having a very healthy brain. So food for thought. We don't want to just have a slim waistline just because of vanity reasons, but it's because that is actually what is impacting what is going on up in your brain. Okay, so know those numbers. Yes, Alicia, you're so welcome. Okay, your golden retriever brain, your primal instincts. So this is very interesting, and this basically goes down to when you think about the internal drive inside your brain, like literally the parts of your brain that are the most primal and innate things that were given to us way back when we lived in the caveman time and we were only living by instincts. This still goes on in our brain, right? We still have the same brain as we did back then, but now we just live in a different society. So think of it like a golden retriever is, it's always going to be distracted. It's always going to be kind of pulling you in all different directions. It's going to be very emotional. It's going to be very like ups and downs. It's not just even keel. So think of it like a golden retriever. It gets fixated on things, you know, ball, frisbee, squirrel, whatever that happens to be. This is what goes on in our head. And then other things too, like our fight or flight, you know, like if something happens and we get scared, then that's the body saying, oh my gosh, fight or flight, I need to protect myself. And so these natural instincts that we have are all based on innately trying to survive. But now we've developed in a society where we don't necessarily need those things to be helping us stay alive anymore. Now they're kind of actually making things more challenging for us. So we need to recognize them so we can start to be the masters and the control of the inner workings of the brain. So can a puppy be trained? Can you train a puppy when it's all crazy and going everywhere and, you know, it's totally insane and crazy? But you can eventually, over time, you can train it and then it behaves and then it listens to you and then it acts on command and then it doesn't overreact and it does all these wonderful things because you've trained it. So can your mind. You can absolutely train your brain the same way to start overriding these fight or flight responses and really help you just live more even keel and not be so reactive to things in life. So know that with awareness and training, you can then have an impact on these things, and then you won't be, I'll talk about self-sabotage in a second, but you're gonna be able to just better control things around you in life and not just be a victim of your circumstances or having your mind always racing and never feeling like you can control what's going on. You absolutely can, you can train it. So self-sabotage. This was a cool analogy that they talked about of the captain and the crew. This was the conscious versus the unconscious mind. So basically your conscious mind is the captain. That's you. That's you saying, I am going in this direction. I am doing this. I am driven. I want to achieve these things. Logically, I want to lose weight, so I want to do this. And you're the captain. You're telling your body and mind what you want. So why does self-sabotage happen then? Like, why can't we override that as much? It's because the unconscious mind is like the crew, and they're doing all the inner workings, right? Like, you're the captain, but who else is maintaining the ship? There's a whole crew there. You know, they're cleaning and washing and guiding and keeping everything working properly, and they're all at work all the time. And they're your unconscious mind. And so it's what happens with self-sabotage is, think of the crew has now given a mutiny against the captain. So the crew has now said, oh, you think you want to go that way, but let me tell you, we know better than you. Look how many of us there are. We know better. We're going to secretly steer you in the other direction. And so this is what begins to happen with self-sabotage, when you're like, why is it so difficult when I want to go this way? I want to do this. I want to be good. I want to, you know, lose weight or exercise more. And then I just find that these internal things arise up in me and they start just like ruining everything. It's the captain and the crew going on, having a mutiny inside your brain. But if you can realize it, you can realize that you can take control, and you do that by beginning to be aware of your self-talk, the things that you say to yourself, the things that people say to you. Are they positive things and you're going to accept them, or are they negative things and you need to squash them out? Like, all these different influences going on, that's all happening on the unconscious mind. And so if you begin to be aware of it, you can then start being very proactive in your, in how you're allowing outside influences to affect you, and specifically going into your self-talk. So thinking, you know, are you always looking in the mirror and being dissatisfied with yourself? Or are you, you know, you make a poor choice and then you like belittle yourself in your brain about making that bad choice? Those are all the little tiny things that are going to continue the mutiny to happen until you can switch your self-talk into being very loving and supporting of yourself. And then all of a sudden the crew will eventually get on board and you'll begin to achieve those goals. So just being aware of what's going on below the consciousness of what you're attempting to do, there's a lot of work that's going on there. So that was a really interesting analogy for me, and hopefully that helps you to begin to make some changes for your own self, and definitely working on your self-talk. So gratitude. So one of the final things they talked about was the importance of gratitude. And not just because being grateful and having gratitude for things in life are nice, or because they are, you know, they're what a good person should do, and they're definitely what a Christian should do, should always be grateful. Not because of those things. Yes, that's great and all, but more because literally what happens internally in your mind and in your psyche when you have gratitude, genuine gratitude. So it will decrease that fight or flight response. It will help you to be more even keel and not reactive to situations. It will improve your sleep. We didn't even talk about the importance of sleep, but side note, they do recommend 7 or more hours is what the brain literally needs to be rebooting itself and to be working optimally for you, is 7 or more hours. It will improve your sleep. If it improves your sleep, you then feel better in general. You begin to awaken your mind a little bit, and you are able to have bigger dreams and aspirations for life. And so all these things begin to happen because you are now beginning to see things in life with gratitude. Becoming grateful for failures was another one. Not being so afraid of failure and beating yourself up over failures or things that don't go right, or not making the mark. No, literally flip it around and begin to be grateful for failures, because it's through failure that you're learning and you're growing. If you did not ever have a failure, then you would have nothing to ever attempt to achieve. And the body is always wanting progress. The brain is always wanting a challenge. It always wants to make progress. It always wants to reach for something new and do something different and stretch itself. But if we're afraid of failure, then we're actually not allowing ourselves to move into a bigger representation of what we could achieve in life and of who we could become. And so don't be afraid of your failures. Actually embrace them, be grateful for them, and know that you're on the path of continual learning and growing in your life. So really have grace for yourself and for those around you, and being very grateful for the things that you do have in your life, because when you're more grateful for them, more things then come in and it attracts it to them. So that was really cool. I think that's the final it for my notes. We're going to go through a few other things on what is coming up soon. Okay, so what's next? So, okay, have you enjoyed what you have heard so far tonight? Has this been helpful at all? I'm reading the comments. I feel that it has been. I know for me it was, even just going back through to try to pick out the best, biggest highlights. But because there is so much information here, there's no way I could throw it into a 1-hour talk. Literally impossible. And so what I'm going to do, and this is going to be coming in August because I need at least a good 6 weeks or so to put it together, is I'm going to be breaking down even in more. Thank you, Heather. It's been fantastic. I'm so glad. This is literally a snapshot. So I'm going to be expanding on all of these things and all the things that I didn't even get to touch tonight into making like an entire course about this. So if this was interesting to you and you want to know more, know that I'm going to start having that in the works coming up. But I need a little while to put it together. Right now, I'm estimating it's going to be about 250. I honestly have no idea what it's going to be. Once I start developing all the trainings, all the, the worksheets, all the presentations, this and that, I'll probably have like multiple modules and literally put together like a robust online course for you to more in-depth cover all the things that we just barely touched on today. And so I want you to know that that's what is coming. And so, I'll be telling you about that for sure in the coming months. So just know that that's coming up. And then I want to draw your attention to right here on the left side of the screen. It says Fit+Faith Academy. So this is what we are going to go into really quickly. This is my big announcement, my big reveal that I have been working on for months behind the scenes for you guys, and really just developing what is the best ways that I can bring all this stuff that I'm learning and all the stuff that I already know, and how can I meet your needs with it. I have been putting together an academy of courses and different things, different trainings and stuff in all these different areas related to achieving your goals and having better health and, striving for bigger and better things for yourself. So let me share that with you. And then I've got a great bonus for you, and then we will be wrapping it up. Do you have any other questions with the stuff I have covered? And I'll look at it in the chat. And let me go ahead and share screen. This is what I have been working on in the Academy. And here we go. Introducing, you guys are the first ones to know anything about this whatsoever. Introducing the Fit+Faith VIP membership. This is what I am putting together, all these courses for the people that want more, for the people that are really wanting to expand in a community of other female believers and of achieving their own goals, having a community there to help with weight loss and with developing healthy habits in life. Everything that we've begun to touch on, for those of you that are a part of the Summer Slim Down, that's kind of just getting the ball rolling. So this is something that can be an ongoing community with continual encouragement, continual support, continual trainings in a group online atmosphere. I am absolutely thrilled to be bringing this to you today. And so let me give you a little lowdown. I'll put the link up in there so that you can take a look, but this talks about who it's for, all the benefits of the different things for becoming a VIP member. You can read through all of those things. It is incredible, but this is the bulk and the most fantastic part right here. These are all the courses that I have begun to put together over the past few months specifically for you. Some of them are already ready. Some of them are coming out in the next week or two, and some of them I've already got lined up for July and August. So we've got all these different courses of all different things: healthy habits, strengthening for your core program, overcoming obstacles to weight loss, learning how to master the protein bar masquerade, finding how to get the perfect body for you, not just the perfect body in the box, the perfect body for you. Love is all you need. This is going to be a very special training with one of my former professors at the university about love and digging into the Bible and what does it say about love and how can we be the full expression of that. And then, of course, the course that I'm coming up with over the next 6 weeks, premiering in August, is the Brain Power course. All of these courses are going to be included for the VIP members. So you can absolutely buy all these things individually, but all of them are going to be included for members, and access to any future ones that I continue to make as I continue to grow and build the Fit+Faith Academy over the coming months. So this is amazing. I am so excited about this, and this is just going to keep growing and growing over time, and you get access to all of it. So it talks about who is it not for? Who am I for people who don't know me very well? Frequently asked questions. And let's talk about the bonuses. So this is the most important thing right here, is if you are one of the first 20 VIP members, then you will get a complimentary coaching session with me for anything that you're wanting, whether it's to help you on your weight loss journey, develop new healthy habits faster, you have questions maybe about some injuries or injury prevention, you can use all my physical therapy knowledge, my health coaching knowledge. The first 20 people are going to get complimentary sessions with me. Also, June only. This is why you need to be, if this is interesting to you at all, and if you are wanting to be a part of a community like this, then the June only special is that just for you guys, this is going to be available at only $17 a month. However, at the end of June, so we're only at the 8th of June, at the end of June, it's going up and it's going to be $27 a month from there on out, because a lot of these courses will continue to be built upon and added. So as a June special only for the launch of the VIP community, it's going to be only $17 a month to start jumping in on all these awesome things. And so let me make sure that that website came up good for you. And then the final thing is for fast action bonuses, for people that know that, heck yes, I already know that this is awesome and I want to be a part of it, then if you join by the end of tonight, by midnight Pacific time, because it's a heck yes, this sounds amazing, then fast action bonuses, you will be receiving a gift card at the store of your choice for greater value than what it even costs to join. So it's kind of a no-brainer. If you're really wanting to, you might as well basically get your first month of membership for free, because I'll be rewarding you with a gift card of your choice, but that's only for people that join by tonight. So I put the link up in the chat. It is fitplusfaith.teachable.com/courses/VIP. So if it doesn't get to you right when you click the link, then just copy and paste the whole thing, because you want to get to the VIP. And then I wanted to peek inside really quickly, and then we'll wrap it up. And any additional questions that you have, let me know. But I wanted to show you what it looks like on the inside. So here we are, we're inside the academy here. We're inside the members area, and you're gonna get started here. I tell you exactly what to do. And there's gonna be a VIP members only Facebook group, but this is where all the trainings and the daily support and everything that we have, it's all gonna be in the Facebook group. That's where the community aspect is really gonna go insane. And that's where, for people that are part of the Summer Slim Down and they're already loving that interaction and that connection, that gets carried over into this group, and then even more so. It's literally ongoing VIP access with me and with support of the whole group. So we will have our own private Facebook group. And then let me show you, you go back to the main menu, and here's where you get all of your included courses. So they're all here, they're all ready for you. As soon as you are a member, you can begin diving into these. And like I said, I've already got 2 more rolling out in the next few weeks for June, and I've got 2 coming in July, and I've already got the big brain training one that will be included in August. You're more than welcome to get these individually on their own, because that's what the whole academy is for. But if you're wanting to have them all included, plus get the whole community aspect and support for your goals, that's where you're going to want to be just a part of the VIP community, and then it's all included. So do you guys have any questions on that? I mean, you're literally the first ones to know about it ever, and I've been working on this behind the scenes for months and months and months, and I'm so excited. Do you have any questions? Any questions about the VIP membership, as well as any questions about the training? This is fantastic and so exciting. Heather, oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm freaking excited. I mean, I'm thrilled. So of course I get happy if other people get excited too. But that's wonderful. I hope the training itself was really of value to you today. There was so much more that I didn't even include, but we're just now getting over our 1 hour time, and I wanted to respect your time. But I could go on with this forever because I learned so many amazing things, and that's why I'm putting together the entire big course for the brain training, because there's so much. So that'll be coming in August. And if I can roll it out sooner, I will, but probably that will be coming in August. And then Heather says, is it $17 a month from here on out, or just the first month? If you join by the end of June, then you're locked in for $17 a month. But if you join after June, then it's $27 a month, and then it will stay at $27 a month. And then probably down the road, like depending on if I end up putting like tons and tons and tons and tons of courses in there, and the value is so high, then I might eventually up that. But I want it to be achievable and doable for people, and actually almost a no-brainer for people. When you think about, you're not having to pay for support at a Weight Watchers meeting, you have it in our group. Like, you're not having to go buy food in a Jenny Craig program because we're teaching you how to live and eat healthy. Like, everything that you would normally do outside is all gonna be in our group atmosphere. And so, yeah, so it's an ongoing monthly accountability and support group. Does that answer your question? Okay, good, good. Perfect. And like I said, if you can't click the link and it doesn't take you right to the VIP, then click the link, and then it's just /VIP, or you can copy and paste the whole link so that you can go right away and watch my intro video where I explain more about it, and then really be able to look deeply at all the different things that it's included. But I'm thrilled, and this was the first time to reveal it ever. So I thank you so much for being here on the training and for being receptive to allowing me to share that with you. So thank you, thank you. Are there any final questions about the training, about the brain? What's the most amazing thing you learned today about this brain training? I'd love to know, because I had a million aha moments. So let's see, anything that you specifically was the most amazing thing that you couldn't believe that you learned today? It's literally life-changing. It's so amazing. It changes so many things in perspective shifts for me. I want to see if anybody else has anything they would like to share. Oh, I can unmute you too. I can unmute you if anybody wants to chat. Okay. The sugar was very impactful. Oh, Alicia, absolutely. Yeah, the diabetes to Alzheimer's connection. Oh my gosh. That literally right there to me was astronomical. And it literally doesn't even make sugar appealing anymore, when I know that I had known already that the studies were saying that there was a strong link to Alzheimer's and dementia and a lot of other preventable diseases to sugar, but I literally did not know how much it's impacting the brain until we saw those brain scans. And it makes it not even difficult to say no anymore, right? I mean, at least that's how strongly it impacted me. You're unmuted if anybody else has anything to say, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. The diabetes to Alzheimer's connection. Oh, and why organic is better. Yes, why organic is better hit me like a freaking ton of bricks, and now I'm like organic all the way. I honestly don't even care about spending $5 extra in the grocery store because I bought some organic vegetables. If I know I'm going to get fuller faster and that the nutrient density is going to feed my body better, then it's like, okay, then no wonder there's all this hype about it, right? So I thought that was amazing as well. All right, everybody, we will wrap it up. Oh, Shasta, you have something to say? Oh, no, maybe I'm just hearing background noise. All right, everybody, let me know if you have any other questions, and I will catch up with you in a bit, and off we go. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I heard you. I'm glad you stayed up late. I hope it was worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right, everybody, have a fabulous night, and I will see you online in the future, I'm sure. Bye, guys. The Academy sounds great. I'm excited for you. Thanks, Alicia. I am freaking pumped about it. Thank you so much. I'd love for you to check it out. Bye, guys.